Wednesday, 7th of August, I want to do a little bit of honing on something, for me, a little unusual. This is a beautiful Genco American straight razor, 5/8. I don't think it's had very much use. I can't remember whether it was me that honed it or not. I don't think it was. So I think this one definitely needs a re-hone. It won't pass the nail test. It won't even pass the tomato test. I'm fairly certain, 99% certain, the geometry on it is fine. In which case, why not get straight on and do a Coticule hone? Interesting part today, I flattened my lovely little Coticule. This one I've had about, I don't know, year and a half. It is an Ardennes Belgian Coticule. It comes with its nice little used little stone, little slurry stone. It has the rather typical inclusion marks on it, which is a good thing. I've done a naughty thing. I wanted to check if it was truly flat. I've only used it a few times, so to flatten it, I used, which I know I shouldn't, I used a very fine 1000 grit, worn 1000 grit diamond plate, which I have heard is not a good idea because you can actually damage the little garnets which are actually hidden within the slate or rather clay bed of the Coticule. So there's your yellow surface, which is your clay bed. There is the back slate, but I thought no, I wanted to make sure it was flat, really flat. And so I thought, okay, I'll wash off the slurry derived from the diamond plate and I'll go back to using a slurry from the little original slurry stone. Okay chaps, here we go. Slurry coming up. I'm going to give this a reasonably heavy slurry. The reason being, a much beloved friend, Devon Jackson, whose video I watched just the other day, yesterday in fact, he quite rightly pointed out you need to get rid as much as possible of the sort of halfway house deep scratches on your bevel and try and get a nice even, which I love, a nice even sand blasted hazy finish. So I love this little stone. I've only used it a few times, but it's one of my favourites. I've only got 3. Anyway, I reckon that is probably what I would term a medium to heavy slurry. It's slurried up very, very nicely. So hopefully any little bruised or damaged garnets I did wash off under the tap. And this now, being a slurry stone, has now raised up a nice slurry. So let's try this Genco, which has a fairly dead edge. It had scratches, but not bad scratches. So let's see if I can bring this one up to a reasonable good edge. So yes, this is a sort of a one stone Coticule honing experiment. I have done this before and got some very good results. I can't remember whether I did it on this stone. I don't think I did. But this is cutting beautifully. That is a very, very nice slurry, which is now turning grey. So yes, we are cutting steel. Whether we've cut enough steel, I shall tell you in 2 seconds. I can make these very, very quick little honing videos. I am by nature impatient. Right, let's try and see if we've returned the edge. Wash it off. Thumbnail test. Oh, whoa. Yep. That's all it took. That's all it took to get an edge back. Let's put the Yeah. Oh, yeah. Bloody hell. Yeah. Proof of the pudding, that has brought a dead edge straight back to being a good edge. I'm going to go a delicate style progression. That's all I think I really need as far as the let's just wipe off and check it under the... I don't normally bother with the microscope. If you've got a reasonable idea that your geometry is right, your bevel is modestly well set, hopefully very well set. I think the bevel had been set on this previously, so I'm not too worried. And the first thing I can see is it's got the typical sandblasted, heavily sandblasted finish, and 99% of the original scratch lines are gone. So I think a couple more laps, we can call that done. So I'm going to just water down this slurry a little bit. So it's now just a light slurry. I'm going to do it by hand, what the hell. On a smaller stone, I do prefer the feel and the feedback you get by hand, whereas you put it on a rest. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, but I feel sometimes a slight lack of feedback. Anyway, this is working beautifully. This is going to be a very, very, very short hone. Yeah, that's it. So, I'll wash that off. There's now virtually nothing left in the way of a slurry. The blade's not sticking yet, but then it needs running water normally. So, we'll give it a little bit of running water in a sec. I would say, judging by the feel, that edge is going to be very, very good. Right, running water test. Don't know if you can see that. I can hardly see into my phone. It's quite bright. Yeah, it's sticking. Oh yeah. That's sticking. Strange how it sticks one direction better than another. Why is that? Perhaps it's the flow of the water. Perhaps it's the fact that I used to be a goofy foot surfer and perhaps I tend towards the left rather than the right. I don't know. But anyway, I would say that is quite nice. That's sticky, sticky, sticky. In which case, chaps, what I might well do is cut this very short. I shall take it upstairs into my bathroom, and I think I shall then give it a good sound stropping and see what it HHT's like. Now I have heard, and I've got no reason to doubt it, that Genco, all the American razor steel is good quality steel, and this certainly would appear to be the case. I have no reason to doubt it, so I'd love to see how this little razor performs on a shave. Right, that's gone through a very brief stage. I'll now just get a little bit of a feel. Yeah, feels good. Right, let's check it under the microscope very briefly. I should also be quite cautious in how you wipe the edge of a straight razor. Not that you're going to cut yourself, it's just that they're very, very delicate, and rubbing cloth or even a paper towel across the edge too hard, I honestly think it will give you a false reading. Anyway, what an interesting little razor. Can you see that? It's actually got a 45-degree bevel going along the spine. I haven't seen that before. 45-degree bevel rather than the usual rounded bevel. So let's check one of my little cheap mic. I love handheld mics. I can't help myself. Let's have a look. I think that's focused okay. This is really clever, trying to focus a microscope and hold it up at the same time. Well, the haziness isn't as apparent now. No, it's definitely not as apparent. So you seem to have removed the initial haziness, and sort of it's got now more of the original scratch pattern back. I'm going to go and give that a good sound stropping. I'm going to give it the hanging hair test. I'm going to see how it feels. Let's just do one more test on the nail. Yeah, that's very grippy. Oh, blimey. Oh, Gordon Bennett. Yeah, that is as sharp as anything. And that's just been eaten. Right. I'm going to go and give this a trial. Excuse me. I'll give this a try upstairs. If all is well, I'm going to shave with it. So I'll continue this video later.